Hey, welcome back to the Marketing Mindset. I'm Joe Koufman, CEO of AgencySparks, and I'm kind of excited about today's topic because it's in the forefront of the news for a couple different reasons. Today, it's all about unconventional marketing and leveraging a cease and desist letter or cease and desist order to protect your brand, but also maintain a marketing opportunity out of it. As usual, you can go to agencysparks.com/marketing mindset to see past marketing mindsets. And also let us know if there are specific topics you want to see us cover. But for now, I want to talk a little bit about the cease and desist letter. So there are important parts of your business where they can help you protect your brand name and your property. And in the digital age, reputations can be tarnished really easily because news travels really quickly. And so your brand reputation is in the hands of the consumer due to the power of word of mouth and potentially sharing of content. So I'm going to straighten the camera a little bit here. Marketers need to leverage negative circumstances and turn them into a marketing opportunity to gain favorability with crowds. And so when you're met with a potential situation where your brand could be hurt, you could find a creative way to leverage that brand and your consumers instead. And so maintaining the brand values and your response in a friendly manner versus just the legalese manner, unless your brand voice is something different, can be a really effective way to kind of turn around a negative into a real positive. And this approach can lead to some free viral marketing effects. So anyway, I'm going to go into a couple of examples where brands flipped a negative, somebody infringing upon their protected brand assets, and they made it kind of into a fun kind of thing. So the first example is Netflix, and this year a couple in Chicago built a bar called the Stranger Things Bar based on the Netflix series, and they didn't have permission from Netflix. And Netflix responded with a very humorous letter thanking them for their dedication to the show, but also threatening them to remove the show's branding from the establishment or face the monster that actually was in the show Stranger Things. And people all over the internet thought it was a very clever way to respond to that. The other thing is many of you have seen the Bud Light Town Crier. There was a brewery in Minneapolis, Minnesota called Modest Brewing Company that had a beer called Dilly Dilly Mosaic IPA, double IPA. And of course, many of you know of Dilly Dilly is kind of a now infamous slogan for Bud Light. And rather than sending them just a dry letter, they actually had a town crier appear in the lobby of the brewery and read out loud on a manuscript. Excuse me, on the manuscript, they why they were so pleased that Bud Light had chosen to honor the brand, but also that they should stop using the brand unless they want to take a tour of the pit of misery. By the way, they also offered the brewers their Super Bowl tickets because the Super Bowl was being held there in Minneapolis as a goodwill gesture. And so it was really kind of well done. And then lastly, there's a brand, an author that actually used the logo and the label of Jack Daniels for the design of his new book. And instead of asking him to take the books off the shelf, Jack Daniels politely asked for the next printing of the book to have a different cover. And it just sort of went along with the Jack Daniels persona. It was better than just the legal cease and desist. All these brands did two things. They stuck to their brand values by responding with their brand voice, and they handled the trademark infringement issue in a reasonable but funny way, creating some popularity on the internet. Brands that deal with legal matters in a very dry and unfriendly way often receive lashback across the web. So there was a brand called BrewDog that sent a cease and desist letter to a small bar that was using its legal trademark. And the letter seemed really out of character to BrewDog's brand voice, which is all about being the defender of the underdog and the champion of individual businesses. And so the corporate tone really sent Twitter into this uproar against the brand, which didn't serve them so well. Even here at AgencySparks, we received a letter from a stock photography company that was a very reasonable request for us to take down a photo that we accidentally used in a blog post. but the letter was written in such a way that it definitely left a bad taste in our mouth and caused us to not want to necessarily use that stock photography company again. We actually wrote a whole blog post about copyright issues. We're not attorneys, we don't give legal advice, but it's an interesting post if you want to go look it up at agencysparks.com/blog archives. And so next time your brand encounters a negative situation, think about how you could spin it into something like a beneficial marketing opportunity. Ask yourself how you can leverage similar situations to leverage your brand and also reap a marketing boost. So that's it for this week's Marketing Mindset. If there's any topics you want to see us cover, please let us know. And again, you can go to agencysparks.com